Mind control catch, nano implant microchip device. Again, get ready. A new science is developing that victimizes countless individuals and promotes bigotry and inhumane practices on an inconceivable scale. That science involves the use of involuntarily implanted microchips in humans, involuntarily microchip, a new meaning I didn't volunteer for it to be implanted with the microchip, a new form of torture and mind control from traditional methods. The science is little understood and little accepted in the scientific community. Psychiatrists and other doctors treating victims of microchip implants normally misdiagnose their symptoms as Alzheimer's disease or dementia. And it says here to persuade psychiatrists and other medical personnel to accept that some patients exhibiting symptoms of schizophrenia, paranoia, Alzheimer's, or dementia may instead be victims of involuntary microchip implants. So my medical record speaks to delusions, and I complained about we are very concerned that these thoughts of implantation of something in your brain and communication with people that are affecting your thoughts and judgment may be the beginning or first signs of mental illness like schizophrenia or bipolar disease. Again, what is electronic harassment? Electronic harassment is the remote manipulation of the body and mind by advanced technologies. It can affect targets in many different and similar ways. For ways to yourself, take a look at the shielding section. Some of the symptoms you might experience from electronic harassment. Here it says you hear the voices of other people inside your mind with no other signs of mental illness, called voice to skull or V2K. I have no other signs of mental illness, but I hear voices of other people inside my mind with no other signs of, with no other signs of mental illness. And it says here, transmit voices either into my brain or into my inner ear, and also project voices and other sounds through objects near me, i.e. the TV, PC, and other electrical devices, and even into the open air near me. Sounds may take the form of knocking or on your door when there is nobody there, dogs barking when there are no dogs around, and birds cooing or singing when there's no birds. Showing my medical record just to prove the case of a circumstance of injustice that can raise money that I can use the technology to help billions of people to have awareness of ending poverty through raising money for justice, showcasing other people's skill through me, and understanding that the technology moves limbs from a distance. And so through the entertainment, Powerball fundraising can be promoted. So billions of photos and videos can raise all family trees to the amount of money that's around the world, with each family member lifetime, billions of trillions of dollars based off of $1 million check anticipated from the style of money that they usually don't get a return, which is donations. And within the strategy of Powerball fundraising, and other known as capture moment of our China strategies, there's a way of compensating billions of people with different schedules of large amounts of donations, semi-agreements. For instant compensation, when billions of people kick back a percentage of 50% donations we all get to keep, while giving the rest to the one location that accumulates $1 million. Just like a jackpot accumulates a large amount of money when tickets are bought for eventually the jackpot winner. The history of Powerball has multiple winners. So being on the donors list, there will be 100% of the world being rich due to the recycling support of donations within billions of jobs to create billions of jobs for the billions of jobs created from the one-time being donated to the compound percentage kickback to recycle, different schedules of job creation, so different schedules can be a circle of support to create the large amount of standby agreement as a product for billions of people to be able to receive jobs through recycled job compound percentage kickbacks because of the resupply of donations based on money being used to create indirect support, so it circulates income. So everybody around the world, again, receives $1 million check while being able to make billions of trillions of dollars, a dollar from billions of people through percentage split with billions of participants equals billions of people being billionaires, $100 from billions of people from percentage split equals billions of people being trillionaires. Through procreation, one generation leaves off, the next generation picks up, thus creating the amount of money that's around the world eventually to have each family member or each family tree to accumulate the amount of money that's around the world. Fritts Wiafe is a modern day Bob Ross, CI, paint through the internet. He painted on TV. So I plan on having those people paint through my art challenge that I plan on implementing, and this is who he is.
Year has passed since the pandemic forced many of us to shelter inside, and as we did, millions turned to an old friend for comfort and inspiration. Here's Lee County.
Welcome back. I'm glad you could join me today. Bob Ross, with his curious hair and his whisper of a voice. In our world here, it is a happy little mountain. Was perhaps an unlikely TV celebrity. There's a happy little bush. He lives right there. But he became one of America's most famous painters, not only for his creativity, but for his positivity. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. It was like watching a magician reveal the secret of his trade. Look at that, isn't that a nice little tree? But the height of his fame, at only 52, Bob Ross died in his home. That was 26 years ago. And yet, the happy little painter is perhaps more relevant now than ever.
We've been in a time where things have been so frantic and people have been so stressed, and Bob Ross is the king of chill.
But what many may not know is that when Bob Ross came into our homes all those years ago, he did it from a home. This one, in Muncie, Indiana. Nobody really thinks about where the show was made.
So many people are surprised they walk in and we're like, this is not a TV studio. This is a living room. Yeah, it's a living room.
They basically just took my house. Jessica Jenkins is curator of that living room. What is now the Bob Ross Experience at Muncie's Miniaturista Museum. This very spot is where for years the joy of painting was taken. Those are his paintbrushes, his palette, and of course, his easel.
Every episode he would have a moment where he would beat the devil out of the brush, and he would take it and he would just thump, 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 thump.
And just beat the devil out.
People come in and they recognize that. They know exactly what that is.
But why Muncie? Well, because this was the home of the local PBS station. Traveling through the Midwest on a teaching tour, Ross approached the station with the idea of teaching in front of a camera. He was an unknown painter, though, at the time. I never knew who Bob Ross was.
I did not know who he was, but he had a lot of charm.
Jim Needham was WIPB's general manager, and he knew Ross had something.
Metro was, I'll never do anything harder than my audience is able also to do.
Even if this is your first seascape, you'll have super results. It wasn't really just about painting. The show was about a lot more than that.
I think the show is about giving the person agency and doing what they want to do or doing something they were afraid to do. I'm not talking about painting, I'm talking about life.
Ross practiced his TV paintings for days, making sure that he could complete them in front of a camera. Even less. It's been half an hour. Maybe back in here.
He was very planned out and very methodical.
But it sure didn't come off that way. It came off very spontaneous and
Yeah.
calm. It wasn't like he was racing.
That's the thing about Bob. You know that on the inside he was on a speed clock getting through that painting, but on the outside he was just so relaxed and made it look so easy.
Just tapping here right along the bottom. Part of the Bob Ross experience is trying your hand at painting.
Delay.
Myself included. Or just a little.
Take a little bit on it.
I see. So everybody needs a little friend. For certified Bob Ross instructor Doug Halgren, I've discovered that anyone can do it is the real joy of painting.
Sometimes we grab their hand and go, it's going to be okay, we're going to do this together, just trust me. And they're like, oh, it worked.
It did come together. Please with the trees especially. Even mine was recognizable as something. It was a remarkable ego boost for everyone here.
After sitting down and painting, I really believe I could do anything.
His simplicity, though, often brought criticism. What did the art world think of him in general?
The art world had mixed reviews. There were certainly a lot of people who categorized him as kitsch art. But if you look at the canvases that Bob did on his own time for himself, they're complex.
Like this one, for example. An elaborate seascape that hung in his own home.
The later he got on in years, those paintings just got sharper and sharper and sharper.
Bob Ross rarely made a dime off any of his paintings, and he never expected any of his work to ever hang in a museum. But recently, the Smithsonian acquired 4 Bob Ross paintings to add to its permanent collection.
Look right here.
In that place, the man who just wanted to paint a happy little world has cemented his place in it as well.
The message of having self-confidence, of trying new things, that doesn't get old. And because of that, I think that it just continues to resonate for generation after generation.
So from all of us here, I'd like to wish you a happy painting. God bless.
That's for me is that I'm an athlete, and this is me right here, and an artist, and I'm a version of Bob Ross. Again, I paint my paintings on the internet, and Bob Ross, he painted on TV, and again, just gave my voice to still gave something they're trying to harass. And this video is me stating that it's still going on, and me trying to get a signature stating that the crime has stopped me from working. As soon as I get a witness crime agreement, I'll be able to start working again, implementing my art child like billionaires and trillionaires. And through the family tree worth all the money around the world, $431 trillion consecutive income. They can say it's on my Facebook.
Positions and professions that you've seen for the last 11 years, going back to 2013.
2014.
2014. All of this, you're presenting the same symptoms, the same information, and the doctors can. I've looked at medical records when I was preparing for your SSI, SSD application. I read all of that very thorough, and all saying the same thing.
Yeah, if someone is being targeted as a customer service line for it, and it's been on the news, the hospitals and everyone else is within the government all work together towards the individual. So I'm understanding a lot about making everybody work smarter during the training our idea. So it's possible for the government to have targeted me to make me see like how a mental illness due to how this has happened before to other people. So I followed the description of what somebody else has gone through. So it doesn't say that it can never happen again. I took it out of it. I've been experiencing the same thing. Other people have been experiencing has had a crime happen to them due to local electronic harassment. I've been electronic harassed years, and I'm now trying to use my story and possibly turn it into positive to be able to showcase my injustice to follow fundraise and to become the number one artist of all time. This will be having the most valuable story to by helping the most in poverty through photos and videos and being able to capture those events to paint so people identify that one location like Colorado. As people anticipate a large amount of income, billions of dollars jackpot winning, to get people to instantly use their exchange to buy into the system. Entrepreneurship came from created all jobs. There's no job that didn't come from entrepreneurship. So therefore, we created something that's possible for the world system being for the world to support that trade income. For the first time in history, each individual had those people who could contribute. And we all investors like Shark Tank and other investor companies to be able to push out money to get over time later on. So a great percentage of the machines that we all built out, we all be able to sell what our standby groups can create. And therefore, everybody in this instant conversation, we keep back percentages simultaneously being able to let each other deal because of how this is why donations, this is what the guns and jobs are being able to again honor business deals from across the world being connected to each other bank account. Again, why give away location to accumulate everybody's offer of $1 million to use money to make money. A large amount is just standby or like an income. So, yeah.
Well, and I've heard the business plan. It's just, you ask me a question, I can.
It's just associated to how I can be targeted when I'm speaking about Chinese dollars. You can see how the implant try to read a mind as possible everything that I've gone through to have. Reality is investigating my story. They wanted to put me on TV. I have other investigators that's been able to look into my story and allow me to have housing and things of that nature. Because based on my evidence of things like this happening to other people, so it doesn't discredit me when it has existed before in the I would say the developers of the technology are within CIA and Pentagon used to call a whistle call. So all these people that understand the technology that created it, I'm not saying, are you saying that they're liars or people that are out of touch with reality? Would you say that to them?
I wouldn't call anybody a liar. I'm not saying that because those things say things that they think are accurate and they think is true, but may not be based in reality. And so,
I believe my situation is just as well as there are developers within CIA. Again, the people that develop technology within CIA and people that are understanding of the technology within the Department of Defense. So, as well as that, if you would go to CIA.
Well, have you ever felt that someone was watching you, but there was really no one there? What
What if someone really was watching? Well, in tonight's special assignment, Ross Blackstone introduces us to Northern Californians who say the government is monitoring their every move, reading their thoughts, and controlling their minds.
It's an entire program. It's stalking, harassment, surveillance, torture.
Mary Ann Stratton says she is a walking human experiment.
You can't go anywhere without somebody following you, knowing they know what you buy, they know what you purchase.
At this rally last summer, Stratton and others explained how the government monitors their thoughts through ultra-frequency radio waves sent by any energy source directly to the electromagnetic waves in their brains.
And like I said, they can tune into any human that they want in this country, just like a radio frequency, an FM, like an FM station.
They say the waves can also control their minds and their bodies.
So that's what's going on. My land is being moved from a distance. So since this technology exists, I would like to have contracts to be used in the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and major events like the inauguration to create world history. So there's people, billionaires and trillionaires. In the news report, it says that people lands being moved from a distance somewhere towards the end.
They know.
In tonight's special assignment, Ross Blackstone introduces us to Northern Californians who say it is. Is it possible something similar could happen to us right now without our knowledge? In tonight's special assignment, Ross Blackstone introduces us to Northern Californians who say it is, and that they have proof.
Imagine everywhere you go, someone is watching, reading your thoughts, controlling your mind.
They know what you do inside your house, what you're being monitored, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
At the state capitol last summer, Mary Ann Stratton rallied with dozens of other Californians who say it's happening to them through ultra-frequency radio waves.
I can be in a room full of 1,000 people, but it'll only affect me.
They believe the government is sending radio waves to directly affect the unique electromagnetic waves in their brains. That way it can control their thoughts and bodies.
Again, you heard the control of the limbs, the body. So the news reported it. So go back into the conversation with CSB.
All these people that understand the technology that created it, I'm not saying, are you saying that they're liars or people that are out of touch with reality? Would you say that to them?
I wouldn't call anybody a liar. I'm not saying this because those say things that they think are accurate and they think is true, but may not be based in reality. And so,
our one situation is just as well as there are developers within CIA. The people that develop technology within CIA and people that are understanding of the technology within the Department of Defense. So, it's as well as that. If you would go to CIA and ask them about it, they'll tell you exactly what the technology is. So if it exists there, how can I be crying about what it is other people have gone through? But not be crying, but how can I be out of touch with what it is that's possible when under the same area as people that develop the technology of implanting cyber citizens?
Because I think that, and I've read many of the links that you sent and many of the documentation that you sent. And although and that there may be some program out there to the CIA, that's what they're working on.
It's a customer service line. Have you talked to the customer service line?
No.
Yeah, if you talk to the customer service line, they'll side with what I'm speaking about.
What customer service line?
Okay, so if you want to talk to that, 818 478 9283. So
818 478 9283.
Right. Then if you even call right now, they'll tell you all about it. And then bring you up to see what I was speaking about in CIA's in Fairfax. And then there's a CIA building or CIA's in DC as well. And then the Packaries, we've been doing this as a service citizen since the 1950s. And my story can create more history, so everybody has a fascinating story or something that will glue the people together with no complications to work together the best with the machines that we supply. It can do a job just like burgers or we supply for McDonald's to be able to have traded income. Foot Locker has a traded income due to the resupply shoes. So we have resupply donations, then that means we can sell to a standby to create instead of compensation when everybody's simultaneously keeping back a percentage. So through the reason Money for Justice, we're able to be the account holder to help everybody receive their $1 million checks that's anticipated and help everybody's went to instant schedule with billions of people that work around the world congregating on a cell phone. It's something that's going to grow bigger and bigger to help all families to be worth all the money around the world. And one generation leaves off, the next generation picks up to be able to accumulate consecutive income of all the money around the world, 400 trillion and more. If it grows into 500 trillion, it's something that eventually all family trees will be able to make as a profit collector. So, you speak about it. So I just don't want psychiatrists or physicians to keep making the same mistakes because it can hinder somebody's progress to help implement something that everybody needs. Every 20 seconds, someone has sufficient poverty, someone waiting for this groundbreaking. So I'll be able to play them games on Major League Baseball and promote what will help those people to resolve the issue of poverty around the world through raising money for justice. That's why I've been so good about my situation because of how I know people to resolve the issue of poverty and help those who were influenced to be part of the targeting because of somebody's defamation or whatever it is they got to involve. The excuses can be accepted based off of how I haven't done anything wrong to anybody. And as a person, people can make mistakes within the public zone. It's a public zone towards the individual when different companies work together to have them conform to whatever their reality may be, or the reality that they want for that person. So, it's a form of conforming targeted individuals to what a group of people would like to happen. And it starts from, it can start from defamation, or if a person has a behavioral issue, it can stem from a person bullying, but I'm not a bully, I haven't done anything wrong. So there are innocent people that have been targeted. They say if a person has done something illegal with people, I'm not a sweetest Sharita in Bellevue when I seen street theater. I didn't know what to call it, but artificial like predators. And I used to work for neighborhood community services. I'm not a pedophile. I never done anything illegal with underage people, even though I worked with kids before. So that may have spewed out within personal defamation, but I'm not exactly sure if that's how the targeting happened, because they do this to known people that have done something illegal with underage people. That's within the protocol package. But I'm a person that's innocent, that's playing about money to Secret Service, and then I was implanted. So I think it's due to economic gain more than anything else. So I'm a person that has will have a packet that talks about different reasons why people get targeted, whistleblower, going against the government for some reason, or having an argument, maybe someone that didn't get government having relationship issues, things of that nature. So I've dealt with military before. So I don't know if it's from my own relationship with a person who understands the technology and put this in me. So there's a string of things that's possible. I know FBI, I grew up with FBI. I he's somebody that may know something, but I'm not exactly sure if it's him or any also Coach he's somebody that's law enforcement that coached me in basketball. So it could stem from other people that been in the been as a part of the government as a public servant in law enforcement and in the military. So it could stem anywhere in word of mouth, like a telephone line, gets worse and worse when a person's speaking. Even if it's a joking way, so many things that can happen that had probably happened a long time ago, and then making it look like something that was supposed to be a certain way spun out of control, and now suddenly it becomes dangerous when it's negligent. See, so and I'm trying to get out of anything that made me negligent because my body is something that I care for, and I don't want things to spun out of control. People are using me to ruin me, because people are ruined with this type of technology. It's something that you put somebody in jail.